Hey, good morning. I just went back and watched the entire 11 and a half minute Graham Platner campaign suspension video, and I think it's worth looking at again, maybe for a couple of reasons.
Hmm. 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 Hmm.
Hey, good morning. Welcome to Diet News, where we chat and laugh. What was it? We chat and laugh because political news can be fun. Sometimes and sort of. That's it. Huh? Does that hit or what? That's not good. Okay, I'm gonna have to sort that out. But anyway, yeah, I actually watched a Bulwark commentary video with I think Tim Miller and a woman that I can't remember her name right now, but they were basi- they were basically they were going after Platner pretty hard. And the truth is that like I made a video about him yesterday, and I really just skimmed his suspension video. Okay, I didn't watch the whole thing. I plucked. I had actually seen shorts on YouTube and said, "Oh, okay, cool. Like, let's do it," and I did it. But now I have gone back and watched the whole thing, made a bunch of notes. So I just want to go over some of this stuff. But let's kick you off with a clip from his suspension video.
Serious allegations, and I just want to make it clear, this is all false. The things that have been claimed did not happen. It's not real. It, it has placed an immense amount of weight on me as I think about what needs to happen now. Amy and I are regular people. We were not looking for this experience. We were not looking to get into politics. We had no desire to run for office. I just want you to think about like what you would do as a regular person in a position where a much larger world, large forces, were working against you personally to accuse you of the worst thing that a person could do, and it was not.
Okay, so what did we have there? All false, not real. Um, we're regular people with no desire to run for office. That's not true. That's just not true. People without a desire to run for office don't run for office. Okay, you made it through the primary in which you won. Um, a pretty resounding victory, I would say, also. But you can't say that. No desire to run, yet here you are? No, I don't accept that. But, you know, and I just think that that first clip is a nice one because it sort of encapsulates everything that you'll hear throughout the whole video. It's a pretty redundant video, it's a pretty repetitive video, but, he says all false, not real, no desire to run, and then he talks about the large forces, these large forces that are imposing their shadowy backroom dealing will upon him just to ruin him because I guess because they want all the control. It's so conspiratorial. That's what that is. And and I have to tell you that his rhetoric in this video, it it sort of mirrors a lot of Trump's rhetoric about his accusations throughout the years. Not real, fake news, witch hunt. This is the same shit with different wording, different person saying it, and it is. Look at I'm the now the one big difference between the two is that Trump obviously continued on, right? he just, I guess, told himself that if they can't lock me down, if they can't nail this down in court, then we're gonna keep pressing on. So, okay, now I do want to show you another clip. I'm really not sure how many clips I want to show you because it's pretty repetitive. And yeah, and those are the big sticking points here. He says that there are shadowy forces, the power in the back rooms. I heard him say, I think a few times, and it it seems like a guy who is avoiding accountability. That's how it seems. It seems like a guy who is avoiding accountability, and he kicks it off there, trying to play the victim, basically. The weight on me. Ooh, the weight on me. We're regular people. What would you do? What would you do? You're a regular person, and now the most powerful shadowy figures in Maine. Like they're just the 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 powerful shadowy political figures in Maine in the back rooms are wielding their sword of power against Graham Platner, against him personally. And I'll just say this other thing is that at no point does he. That's as far as he goes with the accusation stuff. He does not touch it. He says, not true, false, whatever. He says that. That's what he says about the accusations. At no point does he, acknowledge. Now, I'm not saying, this just would have been a different way to do things, but he could have acknowledged the accusations more directly, especially if he's going to come out and say that these are categorically false accusations. You might want to back that up with a little something more than the powerful main forces in the back rooms that are coming after me. We're regular people. Can't you see? We're regular.
I only have until July 13th until I am officially the nominee. This was the last week to try to get me off of the ballot. And that's why this is occurring.
He has only until July 13th, or they only have until July 13th to get him off the ballot. That's why this is occurring. That's what he says. Do you accept that? Do you think that that's true? I think absolutely that's not true. I think that this is occurring because this woman, um, probably his celebrity became so large and yet hadn't quite peaked, right? So maybe she's sitting at home and seeing this and thinking, there's probably just pressure that she's starting to put on herself. I have to say this. I have to say this. This is what happened, and it has to come out before this person gets into some position of power. That's what I think happened. The timing, bad for him. Yeah, but dude, sorry. Like, her accusations seem pretty legit. I'm curious to know if you think that the accusations are credible. I mean, I think that they're at least credible, right? And I believe she said that she has some text messages where she confronted him about the nature of their encounter and it not being a consensual one. Um, and then I believe that she said that he never contacted her again after that. So anyway, just that's some really gross shit that. And look, here's the cool thing: the Democratic Party they're not accepting that. I think that's a good thing. I do think that that's a good thing. Scott Jennings got stuck the other day on a CNN panel because a guy named Brad Palumbo, asked him, "Hey, how are you accepting of Donald Trump's accusations when clearly you're not accepting of these accusations against Graham Platner? These are disqualifying accusations for Graham Platner. Why are they not? Why are very similar and even more similar accusations against Donald Trump not disqualifying for him?" And Jennings kind of got stuck. I think maybe he's been talking to Mitch McConnell too much on the phone, dude. Anyway, okay, let's take a look.
It needs to be driven not from back rooms, but by the will of the people. And the decisions that come next must come from that.
Okay, so there he goes with the backrooms thing again. The shadowy figures, the shadowy power here in the backrooms of Maine that are pulling all the strings. Very conspiratorial. And again, it's just a really easy avenue to dodge personal accountability for your own actions. That's what that seems to me. Let's move on.
We went toe-to-toe with one of the most entrenched political systems in the history of the world, and we won.
Oh yeah, this one. We went toe to toe with one of the most entrenched political systems in the history of the world. Oh my gosh. And they won. Oh God, that quite an entrenched political system. Yeah, I would say if they are the most entrenched in the history of the world, that is just it's just wild rhetoric. It's just wild rhetoric, and it's sort of distracting, you know. And I do want to point this out too. Throughout the entire video, throughout the entire suspension of his campaign, he says we, us. So it's like he's still wanting to speak for a group of people, the Mainers who voted for him, I believe, his potential constituents that are not going to be. But yeah, so he relies heavy on that, and I believe that is to put him in a more sympathetic position. Okay, I believe that is him trying to stay cozied up to people who maybe did really like him, in an effort to, again, just to dodge personal accountability and responsibility for what actually happened. So look at this is an 11 and a half minute. Essentially, it's just sort of bullshit. It's just sort of bullshit, and I felt that I had to say I wanted to just break this off a little bit. I just wanted to break this off a little bit and say that it was pathetic. It was sort of pathetic. Yeah, this is a grown man who, yeah, and yeah, he just goes down the exact same route that Donald Trump went down. That Donald Trump goes down. He was hanging out on Donald Trump's neighborhood in this video. Okay, no responsibility. Everything is false. Everything is fake. It's a witch hunt. The powers in the back rooms, they're all against me. And I think it was pathetic and despicable. That is how I would label his character in this video. Pathetic and despicable. So, and look, I think that it's a good thing that he's dropping out. Okay, it's absolutely a good thing, because this is not the level of character that you want an elected official to have. Obviously, there are dozens of examples of politicians with low moral character, including the president. But I think this is a great thing for Democrats, because we got to see who this person is. When push comes to shove in a tough situation, he's going to blame other people. He's not going to accept responsibility. He's going to create some crazy narrative to try to sell to people. Hey, it's not me. It's the shadowy figures in the back rooms. Did you see them? They're back there. The shadowies, they're back. The shadowies are back there plotting, and they came after me, and they can come get you too. But I just want to say for us, us Mainers. Oh man, he got caught. And I'm happy that it played out the way that it did. I'm happy that it played out the way that it did, because had he continued on, had he won the election, then you end up with this morally corrupted senator who's incapable of accepting personal responsibility for things. We don't need more of those. America doesn't need more senators who are incapable of accepting personal responsibilities for their actions. We have enough of them. We need Look, I haven't seen the screws get put to a Thomas Massey, but we need guys like Thomas Massey. He at least appears like someone who would accept personal responsibility for his actions. Yeah, it's just I think that actually might be the characteristic that actually might be the personal trait, the personal characteristic trait that is most lacking in the American political system is accepting responsibility. Yeah, what is wrong with saying, yeah, you know what, I screwed this one up. Now, obviously, in this situation, there could be legal stuff attached. I'm just saying generally, right? Forget Graham Platner. He's done. He's cooked. He's rotisseried. Forget him. Okay, I'm just talking about generally going forward. We need politicians who have moral backbone. We need people who are willing to say, yeah, I screwed that one up. And this is what I've done since then. This is what I'm going to do. This is how I'm not going to make that same mistake again. That's a strength. That's not a weakness. I know that we have this grand example of somebody who has made it all the way in the world of politics, totally incapable of saying, my fault, my bad, I apologize, incapable of it. But it is absolutely essential for a mature and responsible and a healthy person, a healthy adult, has to be able to say those things, you know? And so I just think that Platner really missed the mark on this. He really ate, he didn't do it. He didn't do it. So anyway, thanks for hanging out. We'll see you later. Like and subscribe.